What's up guys, I'm randomfrankp. Today we're going to be checking out a brand new wireless headset from Corsair. These are the Corsair HS70, and they're very affordable at only $90, which is definitely a good price for a wireless gaming headset. We'll go over it all, my pros and cons, my experience with these, and see if they're worth it over something like the $50 Corsair HS50. So we'll check them out for you guys, see what my thoughts are. So first, taking a look at them, they are very simple and they do look identical to the HS50 and the HS70 headset that they put out a few months ago. I do, however, like the subtleness to them. There's nothing obnoxious, no RGB, keeping it simple with a stealth black look here with some white stitching in the headband. These are also sold in a white variant as well in case you want to pick these up in white to add to your gaming setup, but honestly the construction here is identical to the HS50s. So inside here they feature 50mm neodymium drivers with a 20Hz to 20kHz frequency response, with 32 ohms at 1kHz, and despite the grill here on the side, these are closed back, the mesh here is purely aesthetic and has the Corsair logo there right in the middle. Now in terms of comfort, they are definitely comfortable. They're not the lightest, but once they're on your head, you barely feel any pressure or anything like that at all. That's thanks due to the padding on the top of the headband, and we have plush memory foam ear pads here for the ear cups. And since I do wear glasses pretty much full time, happy to report that there is absolutely zero discomfort with these on. There's no pressure on the sides or anything, so that's always good. And to help help it fit better, you do get a pretty wide range of adjustment here for the headband to fit larger heads, I guess, and you get around 15 degrees of adjustment here with the ear cups on the yoke, again, just to help it fit you better. So definitely no complaints from me. Then for the buttons here, on the left ear cup is your volume wheel. You have a mic mute button, a blinking LED light that alerts you of the battery status with a green, orange, and red blink to give you a little indication. Then you have a micro USB port here for charging. Then on the bottom on the right ear cup is your power button. Now let's talk about the audio, and obviously it's a pretty important aspect when you're judging a wireless headset. For me, I played a few games while testing these. Started out with something like GTA 5, where you have this very open, expansive world with like the city life. Then I played a lot of Far Cry 5, where you're in the forest and you can hunt, fish. You're taking all the outdoors in. Then in a game like PUBG, you guys know I play a lot of that, where audio is really key. You need to be aware of your surroundings, so positional audio is definitely important. And here everything was spot on, and I was really impressed considering these are at that very affordable price. And actually midway throughout my review, PUBG released a patch and it completely changed and reworked the audio in that game. So the actual directional audio was completely revamped, and it was definitely noticeable with these now. Now I'm gonna assume these are the same drivers that are inside the HS60 and the HS50 headset, so there's no real major difference that I could tell from my testing. But for the longtime randomfrankp fans, the longtime viewers, they will know that there's this one song that I always go to when testing headsets and headphones. That's a song called Eyes Open from 5.1, where it's just got, the full audio range across the whole spectrum there. Lots of ambient noise, you should definitely check it out. And with this headset, it sounds amazing. So gaming, music, it all sounds really clean with this headset. But now on the other end, some of my thoughts and nitpicking here, I do want to point out that there is some hissing at 100% volume, and it's only really introduced when a program is launched. It could be in part due to how a game is programmed. So for example, there was a lot of hissing at 100% volume in PUBG, but it was pretty minimal in Overwatch and Far Cry, but it is there. So I would say, keep these at around 85% volume or below to eliminate that audible hiss. But then at the same time, when you're at your desktop and there is no audio playing, that hiss is gone. But on another note, when these are at 100%, there was no distortion in the audio, or it wasn't peaking to say, which is good. Because sometimes when you do have, your headset or headphones at 100% volume, they can tend to sound horrible. These had no distortion. So like I said, keep it at around 80 or below. Then lastly, to me, it did sound like these had some exaggerated lows and highs with the stock preset. Now inside their Q software, you can go in and make your own EQ settings, or switch between the ones that they have already pre-made for you. Usually I always say stick to the stock audio experience here, but I would recommend slightly, turning the highs and lows down just a bit, or boost the mids to equal it all out. I felt like there was just too much bass and too much treble at times. But again, audio is subjective, and I feel like my ear is a little bit more trained over the years because I do use higher end headphones and stuff most of the time, so these may sound fine to most people. But for me, like I said, listening to music, it sounded great. Directional audio in games was spot on, so that's always a plus. Now one thing I do want to say is obviously also inside the software you can go in and enable their 7.1 surround sound, but just for me, I always tend to avoid that just because it slightly distorts it and it gives it more of like a hollow sound, I'd say. So yes, you are going to get a bit of a bump in some of the higher frequencies so you can hear footsteps a little bit better, but everything else kind of just sounds like it's farther away, so I tend to keep it off. You might like it, who knows. Next up, very important as well,
is going to be the mic test. So right now you can see I have it around maybe 2 inches away from my mouth, and I've heard it. I think it sounds, decent. It's definitely doable. I would say it is slightly tinny, or it kind of sounds like I have a stuffy nose, even though I don't. But that's going to be how most headsets are. And since it's wireless, no real distortion to kind of report of here, which is good. But like I said, it'll be fine when you're playing with your friends or talking to them on Discord and stuff like that. They shouldn't really bring up any issues with you and your voice. One thing though, I wish they included a little windscreen to put on the mic, because when I do that, it's very harsh. So windscreen would have been nice, a little addition there inside the box to kind of avoid that. And lastly,
the mic is completely removable. So if you don't want to, have a mic in front of you at all times, you just want to, have it look like you're wearing a pair of headphones, it removes so it's not sticking out 24/7. So other things before we wrap it up is the battery life is rated at 16 hours, which I found to be spot on, which isn't bad at all considering I play around 2 to 3 hours a day sometimes. So that kind of lasted me around a full week on average when I was testing these. Although one thing that is still kind of annoying here is just to see the remaining battery, you have to go into the software settings for it to show you. I wish they would just have it there inside the HS70's dashboard instead. It's always kind of been this way with the Corsair, which they would just change it. However, like I said, there is that little light indicator of green, orange, or red on the bottom to give you a rough estimate, but And they do say the wireless connectivity is rated at 40 feet, so for me, I could leave my studio, go into the kitchen, and it would still reach out just fine, but then any further, it would cut out. So for the pros and cons, again, this is a great price for a wireless gaming headset. The audio is impressive. I love the simplicity and the look of the headset, which is definitely a plus in my book because we don't have a ugly glowing thing on our heads. I really like the direction Corsair is going with here. And then for cons, bringing back some of the things I mentioned throughout this review, is there is that audible hiss when you're at 100%. It's not really like it's distortion or wireless distortion, it's just like this ground level of noise that you're gonna have when you are at 100%, so bring it down to eliminate it, but that is also gonna vary, like I said, from game to game and program to program. Another thing, while it is minor, I really wish it would have included like a little windscreen for the mic. It would be like an extra $1, probably production-wise, probably not even. Would have been definitely a little nice touch, but other than that, it is a great headset for the price. You cannot complain really if you do need a wireless headset. Like I said before, we have the HS50s here, and these are $50, but they are wired. And they sound pretty identical, and you pretty much have the same thing, but for 40 bucks less. But if you really value wireless connectivity, you don't need a cable, then you can kind of decide between which one you want, which one you value more. So if you need a wireless headset, HS70 is gonna be a great value for under $100. But if you don't really care about wireless, you're just gonna be at your desktop or something like that, then obviously you plug them in, you could save 40 bucks and go with the HS50s, but either way, you're not gonna be disappointed. I'm really impressed with what Corsair is doing. No more RGB, keeping it simple, a nice modern, sleek looking headset that personally to me resembles a lot of what HyperX has done with their Cloud series. Looks the same, construction's pretty similar, and again, we have great sound quality, which in the end is gonna trump everything. So if you wanna check them out, I will put a link for you in the description down below. And guys, if you like my review of the HS70, give this video a big thumbs up to show your support. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at randomfrankp. And lastly, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Well, I'm Random Frank P. Hope you enjoyed. Have a good day.